Morning, YouTube. It's time for Random VR Day. I decided to stop calling it random or VR Mondays because I never would do it on Monday, or I forget. So it's just going to be a Random VR Day from now on. As you know, if you follow me, Random VR Day, which used to be called VR Mondays, has to do with VRs to people that has nothing to do with contests at all, just to VR. So smoking my cob with my bamboo stem on there. I actually love this pipe, very comfortable. Obviously it's a cob, so it's lightweight. It almost does like a reverse calabash thing with the big bamboo shank on it with the bent stem. It's just very comfortably. In it, I have some Swamp Ape vape. Why? Because it's morning and I like it with coffee. So, anyways, further ado, on to the Random VR. This week's Random VR is to Smoky Dan. A lot of you guys probably already follow him. If you don't, give him a follow. Great videos. But he did one on tamps. And just the tamps he had, and talked a little bit about them. And was asking to see other people's tamps. So I myself, I don't have a lot of tamps. I have the golf tee tamps, which I'm not going to show you. I have some from just like Aristocob, and then I got a bunch from my golf bag because it's the same kind of ones I use, pretty much as far as height. And I also have the check tool like everybody else has, so I'm not going to show that because that's just a check tool. You already know what that is. So, moving on. So the first tamp I'm going to show you is the only tamp that I had someone make for me, and that was when I did a little exchange with True Defense Chris a while back. And he sent some tobacco, and he also included this little tamp here. I'm just going to put down my pipe because it's going to go out anyways. It's just a little wooden dowel, and it has the casing on it, which I've seen a lot of people make, which is pretty cool. I have never made one like this. I might in the future, but being kind of a country boy and a hunter, I'd probably put an odd 6 shell on here. And the other thing I was thinking about is like those 410 shells. That'd probably work really well too. So yeah, out in the country we don't do so much handguns as we do rifles, and it would be really neat to actually have the casings from that bigger deer I shot this last year, and I was really thinking about making a pipe tamp with one of the shell I got him with. But this one actually I use the most. Stays in the van, so usually on every video or before every video or if I'm getting a smoke in, this is usually the one I use. So this is probably my favorite tamp right now. Then moving on, like I said, I didn't have a lot of tamps until like this last weekend. I decided to, which was odd because I make a lot of things, and I never made any. Well, I haven't really made a lot of pipe tamps. I made the traveling pipe tamp, which is out there somewhere, and just a couple other random things, but never really put a whole lot of time into tamps. So I decided this weekend, along with working on this pipe, let's see what I could do. I like the tamps that people make because people are very inventive. So I mean, the stuff they come up with is very interesting. So I wasn't going to go the route of actually doing anything. I didn't have the time, and like I said, there's still a little water in the basement, so I can't get into that shop, and it's still a little cool, so I can't go over to the other shop. So I was just trying to find something I can make, not necessarily quick, but without actually having to be in a shop environment that my wife would let me get away with working on in the dining room. So, where it did start is me and my wife, we like to sometimes go to the secondhand stores. I like to look around, and either for pipes, which is really weird around here. Nobody in the secondhand stores, they put all their pipes on eBay. So, they'll be like, oh, nobody's there. Well, either they're not looking for them or they just, whatever the deal is, but it's a whole nother story. So, my idea was to kind of look for my goal this weekend, well, last weekend, was just to look at trinkets and find something I can make a pipe tamp out of. And what I came up with is this guy. And I had another one which I did with a golf tee going through his head, so it popped out on top, but I don't know where I put it. So this is the one pipe tamp I made this weekend. And really what all this is this bottom part is actually, you guys have probably seen one of these. Somebody in your family or someone along the line probably did some kind of knitting. So I got a couple of those for less than $1, and they had these little skull beads. I didn't carve that for, gosh, I got a couple of them less than $1. So, I mean, this tamper was maybe $1 or even less. And I just put it on, cut the knitting needle down and threw his little head on top. So I kind of enjoy that one. Works pretty well. The other thing is, me and my wife, we went up for a walk on my family's land. We got a few hundred acres outside of town, and me and her both had off yesterday. Well, I had some contracts, but they weren't until later afternoon that I had to go service. So we went for a walk, and if you're in the Wisconsin area, we actually saw some wild onions or some ramps starting to peek out in a couple places, which if you don't know what they are, check that out. If you're a foodie, you will love ramps. They probably have them in your area. You'll have to maybe check and see if it's legal to pick them in your area. Some places can be a little stringent on those rules, but if you don't know what they are, they look like they grow wild, or they call them wild onions, wild leeks, or ramps. Really easy to identify once you know what they look like, and there really isn't really a lot of danger in picking something wrong, because they actually taste like if you were to cross a little green onion with garlic and throw them together and they had a baby. And this little thing that looks like a green onion tastes like an onion and a piece of garlic at the same time. Very delicious. Gosh, we go through them in the spring. Usually, we got turkey season coming in a couple weeks for my week, when me and the guys go out to the shack and go turkey hunting and just have a good time for the weekend. And usually my wife will come out towards the end of the weekend. We'll go pick a bunch of them. We got a bunch on my family's land. But yeah, check them out. If you can get your hands on them, they're delicious. And moving on, we were walking through, and I just started grabbing some random, not necessarily random sticks. On our land, we did a select cut years ago to thin out some of the hardwood to get the more healthy trees to grow and to encourage new growth, which is way different than a clear cut. It's not the same thing. But my family's land's mostly maple. And so I found some of these that have been down for a while, and a couple of them, I guess for lack of a better term, started to spalt. If you ever seen spalted maple, you might have. It's really neat stuff. Can be a little challenging at times to work with if you're a woodworker, as far as its hardness, I guess, because actually it's starting to rot, and it's, if I can remember right, it's just kind of like the fungus that's starting to get in there, and it makes really cool patterns. But this is one I did. You can see it pretty good. So all those lines in there, I didn't do that with the grain. That was just naturally occurring. So they're pretty cool. If you ever see some spalted maple pieces, very cool. Like I said, it can be a little tricky to work with because you'll hit soft spots. Here's another one. This one isn't quite as towards the end of its life, so to speak. This is just one I left natural. You know, nothing groundbreaking here. And then last but not least, this is one I had, and little piece, and I just started doodling with my little wood burner. I haven't played with it for years. Just a little angled piece, and I did a little just doodling on it, and it's actually really comfortable because you can just kind of put it in your hand, and that little bend helps. So now it's on the floor. So anyways, that is my random VR for this week. Go ahead and check out Smoky Dan's channel if you haven't. I'm sure you probably already have and know who he is, but if you don't, check it out. Makes great quality videos, and I believe he's been on for about a year, so congratulations to him. You guys have a great Tuesday.